Hello and welcome back to Alpha Tauri, where we arrive at the Monaco Grand Prix. It's not a track that I'm particularly looking forward to because we're not great at corners. And we've not really done much to improve that recently either. The improvements in that kind of field will be coming in a few races' time. However, we are closing in on Alexander Albon's 1 year anniversary. It is technically Barcelona, the 1 year anniversary, because we left Nick de Vries in Spain, and now Montreal and Barcelona have swapped over in 2024's calendar, so they're the other way around. So technically, Montreal will be the 23rd race with us, which means that will be his full season worth with us, and then Barcelona marks the 1 year anniversary officially. So we're only a couple of races away, but Monaco in its own right is a prestigious race, so we'll try and celebrate a reasonable result here. This is probably the one race where it might not be beneficial to do a two-stop on. We also get the factory upgrade again. It says upgrade, it's a refurbishment. We actually get the factory refurbishment during the Canada Grand Prix by the looks of things, which will bring that speed back up again as well, which will be helpful for building new parts. Anyway, let's go to Monaco. Well, then a bit of a surprising end to that practice where we put in some pretty solid times, though. It looks like a lot of people's fastest times were on mediums, so that might explain that. I did forget to mention it was an 88 weekend, by the way. So yes, it'll be hards, mediums, then softs. Away we go. 2 clean laps, it seems like. Is the second one not faster than the first one? I don't think they were. Interesting. De Vries has done 1 lap and then has gone back out again to do another lap straight away. Wild from him, and I don't think he's even improved on it, which is even funnier. It's got to be said, Albon and Tsunoda look pretty solid, but it's not like there's no reason not to send them out again this time around because what's 3 more laps on hard tyres? Seems to be quite quiet on track right now. It is a minute and a bit lap, really. So there we go. There's a batch of people. But if you go now, you're running the risk of running into people on your flying lap or on their out lap. So what we're kind of looking for is the batch of drivers. Actually, I don't know how easy it is even to pass them on. It's 2 minutes 20 to go, and there are 4 people on out laps. Tsunoda is 11th. This might be the way for people. Verstappen and Stroll are going now. Verstappen's in 10th, by the way. Didn't even notice that. There are 3 people on out laps behind Tsunoda. Oh, Norris is on a flyer, so there's 4 people, really, that could, in theory, go faster. And yet... there goes Gasly. There's the reason to send Tsunoda. And there goes Zhou as well, for good measure. Actually, there are people now coming out. So Tsunoda actually goes first in a rare switch of roles. I don't know how easy it is for people to get past on this. So trying to build some space up. He's gone ahead of a Williams, who might have actually been on a flying lap. Instead, he's going to be behind a McLaren, who's going to hold him up. Oh, no, he's gone. Meanwhile, I don't think Alex has got past Zhou Guanyu, although has just taken him there. Great work, Alex. I think, actually, all those people that were on flying laps have done their laps now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6 on flyers, actually. There are 6 on flyers. 1 has just done their time, and is Bottas getting 15th. Norris is in, and Norris is out. Verstappen's on the flyer as well for Albon's purposes. Both improved first sector. That's helpful. Verstappen's ahead on the road. I assume he will go past Alex when he does his lap. Alex has done a better middle sector. Yeah. Verstappen takes Q1 pole. It doesn't really mean anything. But Tsunoda took 6 1,000ths. And Alex takes... a lot, actually. About 2/10, 8. We seem to be all right here, despite our lack of cornering. And only 3 people yet to do a checker flag time, so we're safe. Magnussen nipped ahead, though. Valtteri Bottas so close to getting out of Q1 for only the 2nd time this season. So close. Alas, not to be. Mediums. I think realistically we can do the same thing. Did Alex get held up twice? Because Yuki's gone half a second faster. And the only way to explain that is if Alex was held up on both laps. But he has got to peak confidence at least, so that's something, I guess. Certainly enough time to pop him on 1 lap. I've actually got another spare medium if I so wanted to use it. Yuki's in a really solid position there. Aston Martin's both having issues, I guess. Piastri's ahead of Tsunoda, which is mad. Now feels like a solid time to do this. I feel like I've gone too late there. Actually, to be fair, as long as they don't catch Gasly, we're all right here. And I think they're fine. So a ride on board with the driver in slightly more peril as he begins his lap. I say slightly more peril. He is in 14th. So it says Magnussen, Hamilton out lap, Piastri, Ocon, Sainz out lap. Where are they on track? Well, one of the Ferraris is upcoming. That could be problematic. I think the other Ferrari might be on an in-lap as well. I think the first Ferrari approaches on an in-lap and the second one's going to be on the out-lap. So, hindrance incoming, unless they catch him now in the tunnel. And Alex needs this more, so please get past Alex. Please slow down, whoever you are in the Ferrari. I'm not sure that affected Alex. We might be okay. However, the second one is still there, as it really looks like he goes through the barrier there. Just going to catch him at the end of the lap. This might not be a problem, because he has to take this bit really slow anyway. And then the Ferrari's going to be going for it. In fact, the Ferrari's going to tow us. Alex 7th. Tsunoda's still crossed the line 10th, actually. He's in danger of being knocked out now. And possibly, actually, without paying attention to him, might have got held up on the other Ferrari on his lap, because his time is now significantly slower. Stroll done, though, 15th. He's had problems, clearly. De Vries done behind Tsunoda, as you would hope, frankly. Alonso did a much better time. He's in 5th, so it wasn't an Aston Martin problem. It was just a Stroll problem. Magnussen approaching now. No improvement from him. Hamilton going for it. Gasly. Actually, I'd be surprised if Gasly's going through because he was ahead of us coming out of the pits. Yeah, Gasly's pitting. Hamilton about to punch Tsunoda out. Yep. Someone else nipped ahead. Ocon, maybe. Or maybe it was Alonso. I don't know. Sorry, Yuki. You've got more softs for the race, though. And on the interest of not using too much of these softs up, we will just do one flying lap and then one flying lap. So let's get Alex to deploy up this main straight as he starts his flying lap here. Again, should be no problems on the lap itself. Russell's well around that. And Perez on a flyer behind him. And actually, I think he's gone faster than Perez in the middle sector. Just managed to get him back in the pits, actually. Almost forgot. Realistically, I only care definitely about being ahead of Piastri, but if we can nab Ocon as well, that would be nice. We seem to go half a tenth on Piastri, which is superb. Big old gap for Alex to drive into there. Not quite sure why his battery isn't at full. We'll go on the slightly wonky off-board version, so we get the outside of the visor. Part of this, I mean, he's got enough for the lap, but I don't really know why it wasn't a full to begin with, considering he's been into the pits. They should be able to charge it in the pits. Baffling. Some people on flies now, I imagine, and maybe using their other set of softs. Actually, no, only Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, and Piastri behind. Yet to do another lap. We are using the same tyres, though. He's done a faster first sector, though. Ocon's gone 7th. He's gone ahead of Hamilton. Oh, we're not getting Ocon then, are we? Christ. That's a wild time from him. Faster middle sector from Alex as well. So prepare to see this go down by 7/1000th, because I know how this goes. Checkerboard as things stand, though. Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez sights. Oh, he actually... Oh, my God, he got 7/10ths. That was me joking about 7/1000ths, having gotten, 3 green sectors. He got 7/10ths. What was he doing on the original lap? Ahead of Hamilton off the line. Do you mean it's not the end of the world? We're 8th in an Alpha Tauri. That still isn't that good. Solid end of the points consistently, but not that good. Max back on pole for the first time since Saudi Arabia, surprisingly. Had the first 2 poles and not had one since. So what that means for the race is a one-stop strategy from everyone. Apparently it's 9 seconds faster to do that. You're either doing a very tetchy 3-stop or you're doing a less tetchy that. It almost feels like a play-it-by-ear situation. There could also be obviously incidents and what have you. But getting off the line is going to be crucial. I think we set that up, and if we can go longer, then we will do it longer. I mean, you can always just get there by doing that, frankly. Oh, Yuki does have 2 softs, doesn't he? So Yuki can do a version that's 19 seconds faster, whereas Alex has to be a little bit more careful in 8th. That's quite funny, actually. But we'll play it by ear. We'll push the first in and then play it by ear, because there might be a safety car when you're on, the hards that will extend that. Speak of the devil, one lap under and then push quite hard, I think.
We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Away we go indeed. It's up to Albon on Tsunoda to get places off the line. Albon having a look around the outside of Ocon. Tsunoda having a look around the outside of Piastri for 10th, or inside actually of Piastri for 10th. I now realise that to be. But it's become the outside, but he'll have the positional advantage going into these right-handers. Can he sort of solidify that before we get to the hairpin? No, Piastri's put the nose up the inside, although Albon similarly does the same to Ocon on a hard. Oh, well, okay, so we're the only people to do it this way around. Ah, yes. I see we've done this the other way around to everyone else. But away we go. This might be because of the ATA period, actually. Snow's taken Piastri as well behind. I wonder if everyone else has used their soft tyres. Because they may have used 2 in practice, and then they may have used both sets in qualifying, because they definitely ran on a fresh set on the second run that they did in Q1. So if they used 2 sets beforehand and handed 2 sets in beforehand like we did, and then used 2 sets in qualifying, then they've got no fresh softs. Whereas we do. In fact, Sonoda's got 2. So if we can make this early period work for us, maybe get a couple of positions we don't really deserve because of the tyre advantages, then hold them up. The only problem is they'll be going very long on their hards, so if we get into a position later on where we've gone on to hards and we then need to overtake them, then we're in a spot of bother. But because we're only theoretically going 20 laps on these, but that's without any incidents or anything like that. So Alex is all over the back of George Russell, though. I say all over the back off. He's dropped 6/10 behind now. We've stopped deploying. We'll push the tyres one more lap for sure. I'm a little bit more confused as to how Alex is struggling now. But again, this is the straighter part of the course for, in terms of straights versus corners. So the wiggly bit is obviously the bit he's going to struggle in, and he'll have DRS up there. Tsunoda having a nosy at Hamilton, I now notice. But Hamilton's gone into Ocon's range, so he'll get that now. Albon having a sniff at Georgie boy, who is sort of still in Alonso's range, but on the fringes. Yeah, Hamilton's gone for Ocon, so now Tsunoda's been dropped by him, sadly. But Albon's happy to stay with Russell, which is good for us really long term. I think 2 kilograms will see us fine. And we'll see how much longer we can extend this first stint as well. Is it enough to keep Alex in DRS range? Just. Although I think Russell's gone through because he's got into Alonso's DRS, and now Albon's been dropped. Well, we've entered the pit window, but we're still on 66% tyres, so I think we might be all right for a bit. I was kind of hoping to get into Ocon's DRS with Tsunoda, but not quite making it work. Yeah, we'll just keep on these tyres for as long as possible now. Interestingly, the tyres do cool down a smidge too much. I wonder if aggressive is enough to sort of keep up the push. Although Hamilton's gone for it now. I should watch that highlight. Alex just moves out of the way. It's like Alex is being lapped. He didn't even try to defend. All right, burn the tyres now, I think, with Alex. But we got to lap 26, and I'm just going to point that out. I mean, do we do that? Apparently, it'd be 15 seconds faster to do that. Actually, that's a point. Probably about there. And I just remembered, of course, Alex has got at least another 2 laps of pushing now. What's his tyre wear? I think he can get 1 more lap, actually. Yeah, he can do 1 more after this. No issues. I separate the 2 pit stops by 1 lap anyway, so when Tsunoda's becomes optimal, we can push that 1 more lap. Although they are separated by 8 seconds anyway, so they could probably just get away with it regardless. Gasly's all over the back of Tsunoda all of a sudden. Right, so we'll pay attention to Alex. He's still only a few seconds behind Hamilton, I think. Held on relatively okay, but now we've got the problem of trying to get through the field, having pitted. Who's going to get past? Stroll will get past? It might be ahead of Piastri, actually. This might not be too bad for Alex. And it's 3 seconds to Piastri. Yuki's going to have a bit more of a bother, because he's 8 seconds further back is Piastri. Tsunoda was 8 seconds behind, so he's going to come out ahead of Hülkenberg, Tsunoda. Zhou and Ricciardo have pitted onto fresh softs. So they're 2-stopping at the back. Not that, it matters really for us in that respect, but they're 2-stopping at the back from mediums, I presume. Pay attention to Verstappen, who's on 47% mediums as well when he pits, because Magnussen has pitted onto fresh softs as well. But Yuki's pit stop now, so Alex will come through, obviously, no problems there. But Yuki's going to end up behind this train, which is not helpful. Or even in it. No, he's going to end up behind it. Now, hopefully there's a couple of seconds there to get kind of up to speed on. But he could harvest. Yeah, he's got a few seconds just to sort of build up a bit of momentum with, which is nice. But I'm almost tempted to stay on 3 here to the end. We're going to have to micromanage Yuki through that pack. Only on mediums, out of curiosity, or all on hards. Norris is on mediums, so he might pit out of it. Right on cue. So that'll help Yuki. What's he going to pit onto? It's worth noting that Leclerc has lapped Norris, Zhou and Ricciardo. But he's gone on to softs. Right, so we've done those early few laps of pushing there, and now Yuki's on the back of Bottas. I was hoping Norris pitting would take Bottas out of the train, give Yuki the easy pass. But alas, that doesn't appear to have happened quite so well for us. Also not really tracking too well on fuel, only 0.6 back in half the race. But we might be able to... Actually, Yuki, solid to do it here, really. Take this opportunity of being held up anyway and recover your fuel on that. All right, that's a little bit. All right, if you could pressure Bottas, that would be superb, Yuki, now. You've certainly got the speed to do it. I'll allow you to go a little bit all out on this because I need you to get through this train. It's annoying that Bottas is holding on. Doesn't really help that De Vries is first in line here. But I need you to be opportunistic, Yuki, here. As Zhou Guan Yu does the fastest lap down the bottom. The leader is lapping Magnussen behind. Yeah, this was the problem, wasn't it? Alex can't even keep up with Stroll. Yuki, I need you to make this move now because Leclerc will lap you on the next lap. I need you to pull out, Yuki. Oh, for pity's sake, Yuki Tsunoda. He's also weirdly now... Oh, he has let Leclerc through, sorry. But he's also let Magnussen get caught up. Well, I'm going to leave him to that because he's being utterly useless. But now Bottas doesn't have DRS, so that might be helpful. Russell's pitting. This could be a moment of truth. No, he's come out well ahead. Russell was well ahead anyway, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference, I guess. It was Hamilton and Ocon. Albon is suddenly within 1.3 seconds of Stroll. That's a red flag. For what? Am I getting crazy or are there 2 people in the pit lane already? Why is there a red flag? Oh, that'll be why there's a red flag. Because Verstappen's in the wall. Hülkenberg lapping Ricciardo. He's absolutely fluffed it by the looks of things. So Ricciardo gets out of the way. Max goes round the outside, bins it. Whoops. Well, that's irritating. Well, I say it's irritating because everyone started on the hard. So they're not able to go onto the hard. Anyone that was on the 2-stop can obviously go onto the... Anyone that did medium soft can go onto their hard that they presumably got spare. But anyone who started on a hard might not have another hard to go onto. I mean, they can't go onto another hard anyway. There's 2 choices. We go onto the other hard and then we can push them. Or we can go onto the medium and just sort of coax them to the end. Because I think that's going to be about the same, right? 57 laps and there are 35 left. So it's 5.5 laps per 10% thereabout. So 11, 16, 17. So they're good for about 40 laps, these, and we've got 35 left. And we've got 2 sets of these as well. I mean, regardless, if we go on these now, I think we'll probably be on par with everyone else. If anyone goes on softs, then they're definitely not getting to the end of the race. So Verstappen, who was on pole originally, bins it. Everyone's on mediums. We made the right shot here. Everyone's on mediums. And of course, we've got fuel back now as well, so do you have to deploy everything off the line because they won't do it for you? The only problem is now everyone's got the free pit stop. So Tsunoda's been utterly mugged off. We've effectively got a sprint on here. I'm not sure why Russell's on 96. Oh, he just pitted and went on them, didn't he? So they are the mediums that he put on in the pit stop he did like 1 lap ago. Well, that's highly unfortunate, really. We're still in the points. Ocon and Gasly are still in the points as well, so net loss, because they would have pitted behind us as Tsunoda dispatches Piastri for the second time today in a different place. Out of the swimming pool, he's got him there. I think he clocks the inside barrier by the looks of things. Good move. Necessary move. Ironically, you can take Piastri there, but not, you know, Bottas, when he had the tyre advantage. And DRS. Make it make sense, please. Make it make sense. Yeah, so the 3 push should get to the end, in theory. The 5 certainly won't. This is all about staying in touch with Gasly by the DRS points. So we'll allow them to push the tyres for this lap. Gasly made incredible inroads on Stroll through that one sector, because he was well outside the DRS zone and then suddenly he was well within it. So the Alpines must be very good in the corners compared to the Aston Martins. Or just Stroll. I wonder at what point De Vries will stop pushing, because I don't think he has yet. Oh, but no, apparently he has. Apparently he's just faster than Alexander Albon in his Williams right now, despite us pushing fuel and tyres with curbs. But admittedly, but even so, that shouldn't be. If De Vries isn't pushing, he shouldn't be faster than Alex on a 3 push. Tsunoda's struggling to keep in touch with Bottas. Worth saying that one out there as well. Behind. Shenanigans are happening and I don't like it. The AI have got unbelievable pace after this red flag. For some reason, there's a VSC now. Someone else has binned it somewhere. It's a Ferrari up the front. Sainz. Turn 1. K-Mag did this last year, didn't he? I'm not even sure what line Sainz has taken there, but not a great one is the answer. Clear as day. I could see him so well there with that camera angle. The hopes of the team start to dwindle. He's out, Crofty. Well, it's another free position for Alex. We'll take it, but it's another free position for Ocon and Gasly. So we'll have 2 more laps doing this. Williams might be about to get a point. Oh, come on, Bottas. Get De Vries. I don't even care if Tsunoda ends outside the points if Sauber get a point for the first time in this entire damn save. Year 1 and year 2. We didn't really recover all that much ERS, I now notice, for some reason. That means everyone's going to push for 2 laps again. Now it goes green, so off we go. Gasly is in Ocon's DRS, ultimately. Or Ocon was. He was in Ocon's DRS. Safety car has now been deployed. I don't really see the reason to... Well, we want a DNS. We've got 3. Ocon's serving a penalty. Oh, Stroll's out as well. I didn't even see this, but it's another red flag. Well, they did. I mean, there's a gap there, Alex. You could have easily gone through that. I would have preferred the safety car, to be honest with you. Oh, they've touched there, and it's Gasly that stopped first, and then Alex has gone, oh no, he stopped. Right then, let's go again then. 9th and 12th. Oh, that's not right. 7th, yeah. 20 laps remain after this. I could utterly blitz a medium. I wonder how many soft tyres people have got left. I am curious about the soft tyres, because I don't know if people only had that one set they had left. I mean, so from this set here, we know the 34% one has 15 laps remaining. So we know there's 23 laps in these, but that's not really pushing them. I'm going to do the gamble. This might be the wrong move, but I'm going mediums on both and just destroying them. No need to take curbs or anything like that. They've all gone on softs. I'll be treating to know what their percentages are. Also, once again, I'm going to have to pause. 4 kilograms over. I think we'll be okay on fuel. They've all got fresh sets, apparently. Don't know how, but they all do. Considering that they all use 2 sets in qualifying, the fact they've all got fresh sets of softs is incredible. Because that means they didn't use 1 set in any of the practice sessions. Because you only enter an ATA weekend with 4 sets to begin with. I mean, to be fair, Alex is on mediums here, and he's challenging Pierre on the softs. As Tsunoda has to take Piastri again. Bottas is 8th. Sauber are getting points. Tsunoda may not. Sauber felt a bit like Mick Schumacher in this, in that at some point, no matter what, as soon as they look like they get a sniff of points, they're going to get something's going to happen. As for the 3rd time today, Tsunoda overtakes Piastri. I love the fact he's done it in a different place every time. It's like he's trying to make a statement. He's overtaken him into swimming pool this time, opposed to out of it. Yeah, we don't have a entirely fresh set of stuff, so we couldn't have fought them on that front. So we've done the sensible thing then, for our standards. Because we only had 23 laps available in ours, and there's 20 laps to do. So there we go. We only had those 3 extra laps of wiggle room, so we would have had to come off and then just ride them to 30%. Whereas with these mediums, we can just go, woohoo, off into the sunset. And then, hopefully, actually have the tyre advantage at the end, as I forget about the ERS. Gasly does fastest lap, because of course he does. The person that we need to overtake. I mean, at some point, Bottas falls away, surely. Just going to do a brief stint of cooling these tyres down, just to get him into a nice range again, so that then we can actually slam them for the rest of this session. And actually, hopefully, have the advantage of the tyres for the last 10 laps. All right, that'll do us. That will do us. Off we go again. Tsunoda, make the inroads on De Vries and Bottas again, if you will. Gasly has a penalty. As Alpine have made it their mission here, haven't they? Alpine have decided that they don't want to let Aston Martin have any points, as at least Lewis Hamilton understands you can drive through that gap, even if Pierre Gasly couldn't. But apparently it's a safety car, because I think Alonso's out of the way enough that the game isn't going to red flag this. So all their softs are obviously going to easily make the end of the race, but ours wouldn't have, because ours would have been 14% lower than theirs at this point in time. We would have been on around 55 to their high 60s, 70s. I definitely could have taken tyre out. I mean, have we just been saving up for this, by the way, in terms of carnage levels? Because we've had nothing for 6 races apart from Stroll just binning it once last race, and that was it. Now we're in a situation where even McLaren are 9th and 10th, and Ricciardo's 14th by virtue of still being last, but with 6 cars out. It's his highest finish of the year. Oh, we're getting to watch it again from a different angle this time. Carnage. There goes Alex go through, and there's Yuki as well, behind Bottas and Joe, is it? Or De Vries? It's De Vries, isn't it? So safety car will pick up the leader, which is Perez, of course, because there's no Verstappen anymore. So Albon is now 5th. I like the fact that we initially got mugged off by the original red flag, and now the game's gone, you know what, we'll let you off on that one. But then again, it's also let off Bottas, De Vries, Piastri, Norris, and everyone else behind us. I think this is genuinely the first time we've had a reasonable amount of DNFs, and they've all been useful. Not a single one of those cars was behind us at the time of their incident. In terms of the net race, we were ahead of Gasly and Ocon, because they would have pitted behind us, guaranteed. Because they were only about 4 seconds ahead of us by the time the red flag came out, and they hadn't pitted yet. So Gasly and Ocon would have been behind, and we would have had a chance to hold them up. There's only going to be 3 laps of racing after this. Is Tsunoda going to have to overtake Piastri again? Because Piastri might retake him on the restart here. I would laugh if Piastri overtakes Tsunoda on the restart and then Tsunoda has to do it again. But Sauber are going to get, 8 points? Williams are going to get 6. And McLaren will get 3. There will be no pointless teams after this. Oh no, Haas. Does Haas have a point yet? I can't remember. Yeah, in Australia. Lando got 10th in Australia. So, sadly, Haas will remain the only pointless team unless they can get past Norris. I presume safety car in at the end of this one, as we now have 5 extra kilograms of fuel. Safety car didn't come in for no apparent reason. It's going to be in this time. 6 kilograms over. So despite the fact the leader had lapped up to Piastri, oh no, leader had lapped Tsunoda before the red flag, actually, remember. Probably got through Bottas and De Vries at that stage. We're all on the lead lap again, of course. Please nobody bin it immediately, especially you two. Well, the good news is Piastri's struggling already. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain this is George Russell's first podium of the save. I can't remember if Hamilton had one last year. I shall consult. Hamilton was on the podium in Mexico towards the end of last year, so it's not Mercedes' first podium, but it would be George Russell's. But the fact they've only had 2 podiums in 1.5 years almost is a little alarming. It has almost exclusively been Red Bull and Ferrari. Even Aston Martin don't have that many, and they probably should do. I might just save a bit of ERS for the last lap rather than the first lap, this lap, because we're well in touch with the drivers ahead. Yuki, mate, as fun as it is to, give that Williams some sponsorship time, Kraken's probably loving this. It's probably the fight the F1 were paying attention to, although the leaders probably should now take the initiative on that one. But if we could do something that looks a little bit more like overtaking Yuki here, slightly irritating De Vries is 7th, just, for our own personal reasons. Albon's still ahead of him, so, proof of concept, but that particular statement is still being remade. But Yuki, mugged off by the red flag originally, is still yet to get past the people he was behind then. Alex is very close to Hamilton. I thought he was about to fall out of that DRS. Well, there's your deployment notification. And you've got over 50% anyway, Yuki, so let's go for it. I don't know who to pay attention to here. What does this look like through visor cam, Alex? Ineos? Oh, the speed differential, Alex. Can you do it? Can he do it? Is it possible? I doubt it. It is Monaco. Tsunoda, in terms of the interval, Tsunoda looks like he's inside De Vries. He was within 2 tenths there, but sadly, Alex, not quite enough in that particular tank. And they just DRS away at the end there. That's a shame. But Sauber with their first points will give Perez his race win. King of the street circuit. Verstappen was 5th when he crashed, but he had pitted, so he might have got the undercut and got back first, I think. He might have been net leader. Yeah, probably just because of, the crashes. But Magnussen didn't make any inroads on the McLarens. That ironically ends up being our best, after being caught out by the red flag, that ends up being our best result of the season. Look how much nicer that helmet is compared to the standard version, by the way. Just want to throw that one out there. If you've seen the original AlphaTauri replacement helmet, it's not good. Don't forget Perez is already winning this championship at this point, by the way. This is Perez's year.
They'll be pushing the boat out here tonight, no doubt.
Nah, George Russell winning this. Sorry, the pushing the boat out pun got me there. I don't know if that was even intentional from them, but if it was, good luck. Well, there we have it. Sergio Perez, Monaco Grand Prix winner yet again. Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Alex up 3 places because of issues there. Valtteri up 10 from 16th to 6th. Oh, imagine if we hadn't pitted. To be fair, we'd probably still be behind Hamilton, actually. I think basically everyone that was between Hamilton and Alex crashed. Yuki Tsunoda, however, would have been 6th. I think Valtteri would have gone behind them. But I'm happy for them because it means Sauber gets points. What a crazy race. Sergio Perez on 165 points, now 34 points clear. Still a long way to go, let's not forget though. Hamilton gets back Alonso again because of the DNF and the Alpine assassinations. I don't know what Alpine had against the Aston Martins there today, but it takes Valtteri Bottas ahead of both of them because they haven't scored 8 points from one position. Valtteri Bottas' 6th place is better than either of their finishes, any of their finishes. So Valtteri Bottas gets them on count back. And Pierre Gasly doesn't pure points. But Alex takes Yuki now, and there are now only 4 drivers without points. Kevin, Zhou, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo. And just Haas without any points, full stop. Alfa Romeo go up 3 places to 7th. Sauber, I should say. Sauber go up to 7th place. The worst car on the grid is now 7th. Unbelievable. And we pull out that gap on Alpine as well. Nice and helpful that. Because we got our pit stop in, of course. I don't know how they judged this. But because we got our pit stops in, we were 2nd and 3rd there, so we get some nice valuable points in that competition as well. So at least that works out in our favour. Halfway through, I was thinking, oh, yet another boring race, straightforward race. And then the Fire Nation attacked, apparently. There's been a small fire in the factory that may have been caused by the facility's power supply. What have you inspected failed on? I suppose we could always go back to the old spec if necessary for one race. And we've got 2 underfloors anyway. Well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I have to approve this pause. Factory shut down and manufacturing shut down for 11 days, which is until here. Which, to be fair, not the worst thing in the world. It does prevent any more front wings being, to replace the ones that we just had to deal with there, but because they failed the inspection. But the side pods get designed literally the day before we could probably resume. So all we do is lose 1 day on side pod manufacturing, really, and then we'll be able to get enough front wings in time for that anyway, so grand. And of course the design system is being unpatched in that respect, so everything else of the 1.6 patch will maintain itself, but the design tweaks and the research tweaks will be undone. So it will now be research that doesn't work properly, but the design will work as it did before, which is the slightly more difficult of the two, and I kind of prefer that, really, from a creator point of view. In particular, I don't have to hamstring myself. So Oliver Behrman wins an F2 race. Interesting. Anyway, thank you for joining me. What a chaotic race in the end. Welcome back to a classic Monaco. We've missed you, quite frankly. We've missed you. Maybe having an ATA period on the qualifying, and that did work out in the end. People having to choose slightly different strategies, perhaps in the race, than they may have done normally, causing a little bit more carnage. I don't know. We can pretend, can't we? We can pretend anyway. But if you did enjoy this, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until next time, ta-ra.